Well, it wasn't pretty, but the Huskers will take the win. It's Sunday quarterback time. Sean, the Huskers did come out of the opener with a win, something they didn't do a year ago, so you got to take that with a grain of salt because the offense did not look good.
Yeah, this was kind of the day that they weren't able to have a year ago to get ready for Colorado. It was kind of one of those days where, they just needed a game to shake some things out, and clearly on that offensive line, there were some issues up front with snaps, with assignment blocking, just the way the running backs were running, the way Martinez was moving. The offense never got in a rhythm. Thankfully, though, defense and special teams showed up, and that was something you couldn't say a year ago. So, a lot you can take out of this game. The defense and special teams wins it for Nebraska, but I think hopefully they can get a lot out of this and say, all right, we are not even close to being the Big Ten West favorites today. We need to show people and still improve on where we're at.
Let's talk specifically on offense. They gained just 66 yards in that second half. I think as a whole they gained about 2.2 yards a rush. What do you attribute that to, and why the change at center at halftime?
Yeah, it was one of the strangest halves of football I can remember in the stadium, how Nebraska was able to score so many points without having the ball on offense. You're never going to see a half like that where Nebraska only had like 6 or 9 plays or whatever it was in the going into the late fourth quarter, and then I think they finished with 16 in the whole second half. But the change at center was by design. I think they were going to pull Cam Jurgens, as how Scott Frost said that. So it will be interesting next week how they evaluate that, look at that for Colorado.
Bright spot on offense, Wan'Dale Robinson, he proved what he can do, and at times, at least on that first drive, the offense moved accordingly. Jack Stoll with a couple nice catches.
Yeah, we got a real good look at Wan'Dale Robinson today for the first time, and I think clearly a guy that lives up to the hype. Sometimes a guy comes in and you see him in game one, you're like, okay, he's good, but long way to go. You could see what this kid's going to be at Nebraska. He's as electric of a guy in space as I can remember out of the gates as a true freshman. Just everything he can do with the football in his hands, and had the longest kick return Nebraska's had in 2 years, almost a 40-yarder as well on special teams. So he can do a lot of things. You saw the tight ends, Jack Stoll particularly, Austin Allen. I think the tight ends are going to continue to be a big piece of this offense.
Adrian Martinez, after the game, he pointed the thumb. He did not point the finger. He says moving forward, it's up to him to get this offense back on track. All right, defensively, man, what a performance. Let's start with Eric Lee, because that's a terrific story. A kid who didn't even start the game, comes up with 2 interceptions, including a pick six. Great for the senior. Yeah,
you look at Eric Lee. This is a guy everybody wrote off. You asked him, I go, did you ever think about leaving? Because let's be real, I think a lot of people just didn't see him in the big picture. He came in as a highly touted 4-star recruit. I believe he was the #1 player in Colorado when he was coming out 5 years ago. So, highly sought after, and I thought it was fitting that he comes in for Markel Smuke and Deontay Williams and steps in there at safety for Williams and makes the play that turns this game on the heels of now going back to his home state for probably one of the biggest games in his personal career, getting a chance to go back to Colorado for the first time.
Certainly the best moment of his collegiate career. Cam Taylor, interesting story with him. He was coming off the field, and the coach says, no, you're going to play safety. And the next play as a safety, his first as a collegiate, he forces a sack and he forces a fumble.
Yeah, they have a number of guys on that defense that can play multiple positions, and Cam Taylor may be the best. And you saw just his instincts and what he can do for a true sophomore. And, this is a kid that played quarterback in high school, never played any defense. Eric Shenander had to project him off high school quarterback film and receiver film and other positions that we can make this guy into a defensive back. And his feel and just overall football IQ, I think, really stood out today.
He was fantastic. And, with the 5 turnovers, it's only happened once last year under Scott Frost. That was the Illinois game, so it was good to see the defense force turnovers. Also good to see special teams contribute. J.D. Spielman with a nice moment with his big punt return.
Yeah, you see a punt return. We just haven't seen that for a long time at Nebraska, really probably since DeMornay Pearsonell was a freshman. I don't know when the last punt return was for Nebraska for a touchdown, but
it was last year Bethune-Cookman. Yeah, so, J.D. had one last year.
And,
that was,
an FBS game.
right.
But
Good
just
point.
to get kick return production and punt return production.
A real threat back then.
That was a positive for Nebraska.
Absolutely. And getting positive yardage, because we've seen time and times again, just fielding the punt I thought was positive, because there was a couple of them that if they get by him, it's going to get 5, 10, 15 yards back closer to the goal line. I thought JD did a nice job. Okay, moving forward, obviously everybody's got this game circled. It's Nebraska at Colorado. How excited are you to go out to Boulder once again?
It's going to be special. Nebraska's first trip out there since 2009. I expect upwards of 30,000 Nebraska fans in that stadium. It literally wouldn't surprise me if there was more red than black and gold in Boulder. And I think this is a game everybody in the state's been circling. I think Husker fans from around the country are going to be coming into Boulder. So it will be a special scene. It's good Nebraska got a win. They have all day now to rest and recover on Saturday following the win and to get ready for Colorado, which will be a big opportunity to avenge really the loss that kind of set them back last season.
Yeah, Colorado beat Colorado State on Friday, and Nebraska comes in with a win. So 2 1-0 teams will meet. Old rivalry renewed next Saturday afternoon in Boulder.